Let's see. What do we got here? Rocky ETSX70. First comment says, Konami uses a doll to compose songs these days. It was prominent in their video of the 2018 Bandcamp. There's been a couple of shots of her at work or in front of the workstation at home. She's like the Oscar Peterson of Japanese rock music, writes it all out, and then figures out how to play it. And then Akane takes the score and writes her own for every single hit so she can remember it. On Band-Maid Prime, there was, a table talk with Miku and Akane who described their process for learning their parts. Boop. I mean, a lot of good information in there. So I appreciate the comment. Absolutely. I'll have to go check that out on Band-Maid Prime. Steve Hall 5128 chimes in, says, thanks for giving me the idea to go rewatch some Prime stuff instead of just watching one of the concert videos for the nth time. Boop. Using a little bit of math language there. Right there. The nth time. Up next, Dan Molnar 402 says, I agree. Any voice or instrument can carry the melody or rhythm. It seems to happen a lot with Band-Maid songs, but this one in particular is rich with that compositional style. Boop. Appreciate the comment. If you haven't figured out, we're doing comments, videos, welcome, hello. Still doing the no intro thing. I like that. Intros used to stress me out, and so I just stopped doing them. You know, subs up for support. Whatever. I have no idea what a doll is, but I think it has something to do with music composition. I don't know what I'm reading. It seems to be about the case, though. So there you have it. Typically, what I've heard, I've spoken to a couple of drummers in my lifetime. Drummers write their own parts almost exclusively all of the time. I don't know what it is about drummers specifically, but it seems to be the case that even if you have a composer in your band who writes sheet music, they won't write sheet music for the drum part. I don't really know what that's about, but I do know that that's the, I've experienced that. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying, guys. Alan Stamper 4345 up next says, one of the best parts of this show was the mix. Konami's guitar is up in the mix, and you can hear the stuff she's doing that's usually hidden lower down in the mix. Boop. No arguments. I agree, and it gives a different flavor to the song, and so like both the studio version and the live version have merit because of that. Kyle5513 up next says, I think of Konami as Angus Young for her appearance and stage presence, and Frank Zappa as a composer. Different styles, of course. Boop. No arguments. Appreciate the comment. Falcon Sooner up next says, if you want to hear Flight of the Bumblebee, check out HGK. In a previous interview, Misa mentioned that she would meet with Konami for music theory lessons. Boop. Not surprising. You can tell their stuff is not, conventional rock, even though it likes to pretend to be sometimes. Brent Laurie 4111 up next says, it is a great song. My favorite is Moratorium. The best version of the song is found on Billy and is from the Studio Coast concert. Boop. Appreciate the comment. I'll keep that in mind for what to do with that. This is Madness 6962 up next says, in interviews, Konami has explained how songwriting works for Band-Maid. She composes digitally, creating the vocal melody, guitar parts, backing track. Konami is a keyboard player, and programmed drums and bass parts to convey to Akane and Misa how she wants the arrangement to work. She sends Misa the demo, and Misa reworks the bass part and sends it back to Konami. Konami then sends it to Akane, who reworks the drum part. Akane has commented that Konami asks a lot, and the programmed drum patterns are sometimes impossible for a human to play. How about that? This sequence allows Misa to add melodic elements to work well with the guitars, and Akane, going last, can work out fills and support patterns that fit perfectly. Konami asks for changes if she wants, but sounds like she generally prefers to give Misa and Akane free creative scope. Miku, of course, writes the lyrics and works with Saiki on the vocal arrangements, making changes to the vocal melody when needed. Then Konami puts it all back together in the final demo that they take to the studio. So it's the best of both worlds. Creative vision and that top-down feel that you mentioned with maximum creative input from everyone. As Konami says, a Band-Maid song. Boop. What a joy of a comment. Thank you for leaving that comment. I appreciate that. Glenn Kelly 6799 says Misa has said that she sends her parts to Saiki also because Saiki praises her a lot. This is Madness 6962 says sounds like Saiki serves as a quality control more generally as well. Boop. Boop. Appreciate the comments. Greylock 100 says yes, there is a slide as you saw. Even Miku did some slides. And yes, Konami composes. She uses her DAW and piano for most of her writing. She has also written things that she later had a lot of difficulty learning to play correctly. And I don't think they really do jam sessions. Although Konami gets the basic melody, bass, and drum lines, then sends them to Misa and Akane, who will rewrite them to what they feel best fits the song that they can play. Konami has in the past written drum parts that were not playable by a human drummer. Such a Konami thing to do. And the Eggman stream had much better audio quality with Konami much higher in the mix than normal. Part of that, I think, is because Eggman is only 200 to 250 capacity. It did look like a small venue, nice and intimate. It is very important to the ladies. Without Eggman, it is highly doubtful if the ladies, as a band, could have survived. And this was their final Japan show prior to starting their US 2022 tour. They left Japan just a few days after the show and went to perform at Aftershock, then to Seattle to start their tour. Oh, that's really cool. I didn't know. I love all like the I guess behind the scenes detail information, stuff like that. Like the contextual information. I know, like, I could tell that the Eggman show was small, but I didn't realize that it was like important to Band-Maid beyond that. So that's pretty cool. Appreciate the comment. Randy McMillan 647 says, I once read that when Konami does the drum programming for Akane, she purposefully programs for a 3-armed drummer. God, of course she does. Greylock says, in the past, maybe, Akane has gotten her trained enough now to make it where it's only slightly impossible to play. What are we really talking about here? This band is out of control, guys. This band is out of control. They're my favorite. Band-Maid fan since 2020 says, I was there at the show. Left. Oh, you were there in... Wow. And thank you for the great reaction. Oh, no problem. That means a lot. Coming from somebody who was actually there. Appreciate it, buddy. Chris Berkeley says, how do you do that? Talent, training. I guess in response to me asking, how do you do that? Talent training lessons, hours and hours of practice fueled by a passion for excellence in creation and performance. This ain't Toto, fans. Folks, this is a beast that needs a live audience to thrive. They need to go out they need to go out and freaking play, sing at this level to entertain, enthrall, and amaze mere mortals. Leaves one flabbergasted. Hope this helps. Boop. Yeah, I mean, when I ask how is this possible? I know how it's possible. I know what's happening. And yet I'm still, you use the right word, flabbergasted at what I'm witnessing. Prober 61 says, I love this song. I believe it was a B-side. You know, people have said that. That's crazy to me that this is a B, like this would be considered a B-side. It's insane. Like, but when you're Band-Maid, do you even have a B-side, or do you just have a song that won't fit in the context of the album that you're doing? Like, do you really have B-sides? I don't think that they have a B-side. Just throwing that out there. Pharaon up next says, when the B-side of a band is so much better and more interesting than almost all of the A-sides from the biggest names out there. Yes, Japan has some damn good drummers, but Akane is still one of the most underrated, in my opinion. Her creativity and how she manages to fill in parts or transitions in the songs is what stands out to me over and over again. And as with guitar solos, it doesn't necessarily have to be in the craziest way. Agreed. She can be a beast, but I like her thoughtful, playful style much more. Completely agree. I don't know how to describe it better. Completely agree. Completely agree. She is a beast. But she knows what she's doing. She knows what she's doing. America invented rock, England improved it, and now Japan has perfected it. Some great bands in that caption there. Boop. Some of them we haven't looked at. We haven't looked at Trident or East of Eden yet, so keep a lookout for those. Pulp TX61Q says there are 4 or 5 songs from the same bootleg show, and each of them are outstanding. You should visit them. You really get to hear Konami much more than the other live clips. Boop! That's good to know. Good to know. We're definitely going to be doing more Band-Maid in the near future. Andreas Peterson 3952 says, this is why Konami is one of my favorite musicians, and also the reason why I believe she will manage very well after the band has been split. No disrespect to the other girls who are fantastic in their own ways, but she is music from A to Z. Not only a great musician, but also composer, producer, and knows economics to the degree where she could nearly join any branch in the music industry. To say it simply, she breathes music. I believe it might be the reason why she also split the music credentials with the other girls, to make sure they are doing well financially. Boop. Appreciate the comment. Thanks for hanging out. Steve Kane 4922 up next says, you are exactly right about their composition. Even Akane sees the score in her mind's eye and alters it first on a paper score. Right? Like, it almost like, I don't know how else you come up with this if you're not writing stuff down like the top-down approach. No. Also, both Konami and Akane write on the score passages that they are not yet capable of playing, and then learn it slow, and then Konami, the martinet, cranks up the speed? Do you mean metronome? I don't know. I don't know that word. Is that a real word? Oh, it sure is. What is it? Martinet, a strict disciplinarian, especially in the armed forces. Well, yeah, learned a new word today. Appreciate the comment. Thanks for teaching me a new word. Martinet. Boop. Me262A1 says, at about 9:04, Psyche does the interrupting cow moo, and they call her the Ice Queen. Preposterous. I missed all that. That's what I gotta go back. I gotta go see that. Boop. Thanks for pointing that out. That sounds like fun. Pal Bob's up next, says, I've been a Maniac for years. This is definitely not their best. Don't I know it? Lurk Merchant says, best song for some, other fans for sure. Boop. And every song in existence is the best song for someone. Probably. Boop. Appreciate the comments. Russell Potter 7294 says they are a band that can make the same song sound different and varied in different venues and compared to the recorded version, which is why I can happily listen to this band all day without ever feeling like they're repeating themselves. Boop. Appreciate the comment. No arguments. Kevin 6059 says the whole Eggman show was fire, and in my opinion mixed really, really well. Boop. Well, this track was for sure. The mix is genius on it. So, Tom Clark Futura says a precious red coral is the common name given to the genus of marine corals called Corallium, but I really think it comes from the genius of the precious Band-Maids called Band-Maid. Band of maids called Band-Maid. Thanks, John. Boop. Appreciate the comment. Thanks for hanging out. Bad Horsey 8318 up next says, after years, I have come to the conclusion that these 5 goddesses are not of this world. Oh. Boop. I can't argue that. Can't argue. They might be aliens. Wave 8359 says, Konami is one of my favorite geniuses too, but you haven't heard this Japanese girl drummer. Hiryu High School at Mount Fuji Taiko Drum Festival. 2011-2012. Watch for the girl in the middle. Appreciate the comment. Have to check that out. And finally, closing things out. Septimus Severus 7237 says Hibana from the same set at Shibuya Eggman, and drops the link, making it extremely easy for me to go look at that one right now. Thank you, sir. Well, that's going to do it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Those are the comments for the Shibuya Eggman Corallium live reaction. Let me know what you think in the comments of this video. Hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed already. Check the description if you want to support me further. And if you like the no intro style, head over to the Patreon and show some love there. I'm going to get out of here. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day.